Have you ever stopped to think if you are really poor or is just your mindset? In this video, I'll show you 5 signs that you are actually on the way to success. Here we go. Sign 1, you find pleasure in sacrifice. Imagine that you are coming home after a long and challenging day. What seems more tempting? Maybe relaxing on the couch, opening a bag of chips and watching your favorite series. Who doesn't like that? After all, resting is deserved. But then another option arises. Instead of staying on the couch, you choose to do something that will bring you closer to your goals, such as studying, organizing your finances, or practicing a new habit that you know is important. It may seem uncomfortable at first, but do you know what's interesting? This effort, which seems like a sacrifice now, is what will transform your future. When you choose what is difficult in the present, you are investing in the best version of yourself for tomorrow. Let's think of a very practical example, an athlete who wakes up early every day to train. He doesn't do it because it is easy or because he is always excited. He does it because he understands that every drop of sweat, every sore muscle, is a brick in the construction of his success. And the same logic applies to anyone who has big goals in life. Now think, what would your life be like if you saw sacrifice as something good? Not as a punishment or an obligation, but as an opportunity to grow? Imagine that each difficult choice is like planting a seed. It may take a while for it to grow, but when it does, you will have something incredible in your hands. For example, have you ever seen people who save money while others spend everything they earn? At first, it seems like the one who spends is having more fun, but over time, the one who saved will have built something solid, like the chance to invest, travel, or fulfill a big dream. Sacrifice does not mean giving up everything and living a life without pleasure. It is about being clear about what really matters. Let's imagine that you really want to learn something new, like playing a musical instrument. At first, it is challenging. Your fingers hurt, the notes come out wrong, and it seems like you will never play well. But you persist. Every day that you practice, you are trading momentary comfort for the satisfaction of seeing progress. And then one day, you realize that you are playing an entire song, something that seemed impossible at first. Another powerful example is that of students who dedicate themselves to passing an important exam. While many are sleeping late or enjoying the weekend without worries, these students are reviewing material, doing exercises, fighting fatigue. They know that giving up some moments now means achieving something much greater in the future. And what's more, when you start to associate sacrifices with growth, you completely change the way you see life. That feeling of, this is difficult, turns into, this is necessary. It's like a game where every difficult choice you make is an achievement. Let's use a video game metaphor. At the beginning, you want to use all the coins you earn to buy cool stuff. But the best players know that saving up to acquire strategic items is what will truly lead them to victory in the end. So, the question you should ask yourself is, what do I want more? The immediate pleasure or the growth that takes me further? Every time you choose to sacrifice, you are saying yes to the future you deserve. And little by little, you realize that this sacrifice stops being a burden and starts being a source of pride, because you know that you are building something incredible. Life will always offer you 2 paths, the easy one and the one that requires effort. And the secret of people who stand out is that they choose the second one, knowing that, in the end, it is worth it. Because those who find pleasure in sacrifice discover that success is not only about where you want to go, but about who you become along the way. Sign 2, you see failures as learning opportunities. Let's imagine this, you're learning to ride a bike. In the beginning, it's almost inevitable that you'll fall a few times, right? You might even hurt yourself a little, but then you have to make an important choice. You can give up, thinking biking isn't for me, or you can get up, try again, adjust your balance, and learn from each fall. And guess what? That's exactly how life works. Failures, no matter how painful or frustrating they may be, are not signs that you should stop. They are, in fact, teachers. Each mistake brings a hidden lesson, like a gift that comes wrapped in challenges. But to receive that gift, you need to have the courage to unwrap it and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Think about the inventors and scientists who changed the world. Thomas Edison, for example, tried hundreds of times to create the light bulb. And do you know what he said? He didn't fail hundreds of times. He discovered hundreds of ways that didn't work. This shows how your mindset when faced with failure makes all the difference. Let's apply this to everyday life. Imagine you're trying to make a cake, but it comes out of the oven all lumpy. You might get frustrated and never try again, or you might think, what went wrong? Was it the amount of flour? Was it the time in the oven? That way, the next time you try, you adjust and get closer to the perfect cake. Now, apply this to bigger things, like school, work, or even relationships. Let's say you prepared hard for a test, but didn't get the grade you expected. It's natural to feel bad at first, but here's the important point. What are you going to do with that feeling? You can use failure as an excuse to give up or as an impetus to try again with a better strategy. Maybe it's a matter of changing the way you study, reviewing the more challenging topics, or seeking help from someone who understands the subject better. Another example is in sports. Have you ever noticed how high-performance athletes deal with defeats? They don't see a loss as the end of the line. Instead, they analyze what went wrong. Was it their strategy, their physical preparation, or their mindset at the decisive moment? Every defeat is an invitation to grow and come back stronger. And don't think that this is easy. Learning from failures requires humility. It's like admitting that you don't know everything, but you're willing to learn. And do you know what's amazing? When you adopt this mindset, failures start to seem less scary. They stop being monsters that you need to avoid and become stepping stones that help you climb. Now, here's a simple exercise. Every time something doesn't work out, ask yourself 3 questions. First, what exactly went wrong? Second, what can I learn from this? And third, what will I do differently next time? It may seem basic, but these questions have enormous power to transform the way you face challenges. And remember, even the most successful people in the world have faced gigantic failures. The difference is that they decided to use each one as a springboard, not an anchor. Every mistake is an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to grow and to get even closer to your goals. So, the next time you stumble, don't beat yourself up too much. Take a deep breath, reflect and see it as part of the journey. Because failing doesn't mean you've lost. It means you're trying, and those who try have a much better chance of getting there than those who never even start. Wait a second, you are not subscribed yet? What are you waiting for? In this channel, you will learn everything about the millionaire mindset. Now, let's continue the video. Sign 3, you care more about the process than the immediate results. Imagine you're planting a tree. At first, all you have is a tiny seed. You dig a hole, put the seed in the ground, water it every day, and wait. Now, here's the secret: if you obsess over the soil, waiting for the tree to grow overnight, you'll end up frustrated. But if you focus on caring for the soil, watering it regularly, and letting time do its thing, you'll soon see the first shoots and eventually the whole tree. That's exactly how it works with your goals and dreams. People who are truly successful understand that the end result, the big prize, is just a byproduct of a well-executed process. Instead of being desperate to reap the rewards quickly, they invest in watering, caring for, and nurturing the path that gets them there. Now, let's apply this to real-life situations. Suppose you want to get in shape. Of course, having a healthy and strong body is a great goal, but if you only think about the results, you can get frustrated when you don't see immediate changes. On the other hand, if you commit to the process, such as adopting healthy habits, exercising regularly, and eating a balanced diet, the results will come as a natural consequence. And, even better, you'll learn to enjoy the journey, to feel good while you're at it. This also applies to learning something new, such as playing an instrument or speaking another language. At first, it may seem difficult and even frustrating. You may miss a lot of notes on the piano or stumble over words in a foreign language. But if you fall in love with the process of practicing every day, even for just a few minutes, you'll soon notice that you're improving. Little by little, playing songs or speaking in the new language will become second nature, almost without you realizing it. And here's a valuable tip: when you focus on the process, you learn to be more patient with yourself. Instead of demanding immediate results from yourself, you start to see each step as part of your growth. It's like building a house. You lay one brick at a time, slowly and carefully, until it's solid and ready. A classic example of this is the business world. Think about people who have built great companies. Before they achieved success, they often spent years fine-tuning strategies, creating products, understanding the market. They weren't just chasing a quick profit, they were dedicated to building something sustainable. They understood that lasting success comes from a consistent process, not from a lucky break or instant results. Now, here's a practical exercise: pick something you want to achieve. It could be anything: improving your grades, learning a new sport, saving money, or starting a creative project. Instead of fixating on the end goal, write down the small actions you can take every day or week to get there. Then, commit to those actions, even if the results don't appear immediately. The key is to trust the process and maintain discipline. When you shift your focus to the process, something magical happens. You start to enjoy the journey, you feel more motivated, and when the results appear, they are much more rewarding. After all, you know that it wasn't luck or chance. It was your dedication, effort, and love for what you were doing that got you there. And that is much more powerful than any immediate reward. So always remember, success is like a big puzzle. Each piece you put together, even if it seems small, is essential to forming the complete picture. Value the process, because it is in it that you truly transform and grow. Sign 4, you learn from mistakes instead of giving up. Think about when you were learning to ride a bike. How many times did you fall before you were able to pedal without help? It may have been frustrating, even painful, but each time you got up and tried again, you got closer to finding your balance. That's the power of learning from mistakes, turning each fall into a step forward. Successful people understand that making mistakes is part of the process of growing. Instead of seeing mistakes as signs of failure, they see them as valuable lessons. For them, each obstacle is an opportunity to adjust course, improve, and become stronger. It's as if mistakes are the most important teachers on the journey. Let's imagine a scientist working on a great discovery. He runs experiments, but they often fail. Instead of giving up, he analyzes what went wrong, makes adjustments, and tries again. This process repeats itself over and over until, finally, he finds the solution. This is how many of the inventions we use today came about. Each mistake was a clue that helped the scientist better understand the problem and get closer to the answer. Now, apply this to your life. Let's say you're learning something new, like cooking. On your first try, the recipe may not turn out as expected. Maybe the dough is raw or the seasoning isn't quite right. But instead of giving up, you try to figure out what happened. Was it the baking time? The amount of ingredients? With each try, you learn something new and improve, until one day you make a perfect dish. This same principle applies to studies, sports, or even relationships. When something doesn't turn out the way you wanted, it's easy to feel discouraged. But if you stop and think about what you can do differently next time, you'll be turning your mistake into a springboard to success. Successful people also have something in common: they don't let the fear of making mistakes paralyze them. They understand that failure is an inevitable part of the journey and, more importantly, that it doesn't define who they are. Making mistakes doesn't mean you're incapable, it just means you're trying, learning and moving forward. An inspiring example of this is the world of sports. Think about great athletes. They weren't born champions. Before they reached the top, they went through countless defeats, exhausting training and mistakes. What sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to use each failure as motivation to train even harder and improve. Here's a practical tip for dealing with mistakes. Whenever something doesn't work out, ask yourself 3 questions. First, what went wrong? Second, what can I learn from this? Third, how can I do it differently next time? This simple habit turns mistakes into learning experiences and helps you move forward with more wisdom. Another important point is not to be too hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's completely normal. The most important thing is how you react to mistakes. Instead of criticizing yourself, try to encourage yourself. Tell yourself, okay, that didn't work out, but now I know what to do better next time. This positive attitude makes all the difference. Remember that success is not a straight line. It is full of twists and turns, falls and new beginnings. Every mistake is like a step on the ladder, taking you one step closer to the top. So the next time you fail, take a deep breath, get up and keep going. Because success doesn't belong to those who never make mistakes, but to those who never give up. If you are enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like this video. That way, you will continue receiving more videos like this. Now, let's get into sign number 5. Sign 5, you have an unwavering will to learn. Imagine that knowledge is like a huge forest full of hidden treasures. Every time you learn something new, it's like finding a little gem in this fascinating place. Successful people have a secret: they never stop exploring this forest. No matter their age, their stage in life, or the challenges they face, they are always curious, always seeking to learn more. The will to learn is like a superpower. Think of the scientists, inventors, artists, and leaders who have changed the world. What do they have in common? An insatiable curiosity. They are always asking questions, reading, researching, and testing new ideas. For them, learning is not just an obligation or a phase of life. It is a way of life. For example, did you know that Albert Einstein, the famous physicist, said that he had no special talents, just an intense curiosity? He was always questioning how things worked and trying to understand the universe in new ways. It is this curiosity that led to the discovery of the theory of relativity, something that completely changed the way we see the world. But the desire to learn does not have to be about complex things like quantum physics. It can be about anything that interests you. You may want to learn to play an instrument, cook a new dish, understand how the financial market works, or even learn how to take better care of your plants. The important thing is to keep moving, exploring, experimenting. Successful people also understand that learning can come from anywhere. They learn not only from books and courses, but also from the people around them, from everyday experiences and even from their own mistakes. For them, the world is a giant classroom, full of lessons to be discovered. Now, think about how you can nurture this desire to learn. A good way to start is to ask yourself, what have I always wanted to know more about? Maybe you want to understand how a computer works, or maybe learn a new language. No matter what it is, the first step is to start. Another powerful habit is to constantly ask questions. Never be afraid to ask why. Why is the sky blue? How do stars shine? Why do plants grow the way they do? Every question is a gateway to knowledge. And the more you ask, the more you discover. Also, learning doesn't mean you have to be perfect right away. Sometimes, learning something new can be challenging. You may make mistakes, stumble, or even feel like giving up. But remember, learning is a process, not a destination. The important thing is to keep trying, even if it's hard at first. Another tip is to surround yourself with people who also want to learn. They can inspire you, share ideas, and even help you when you feel unmotivated. Having friends, mentors, or even following inspiring people online can make all the difference. Finally, remember to celebrate every achievement, no matter how small. Did you learn a new word in another language? Figure out how to solve a math problem? Learn how to take better care of yourself? Every little bit of learning counts, and each one brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Continuous learning is what keeps life interesting and full of possibilities. So, cultivate that curiosity, feed that desire to know more, and watch how the world around you changes. Because learning is not just about acquiring knowledge, it is about expanding horizons and creating a future full of opportunities. In short, the millionaire mindset is about more than just making money, it's about cultivating habits and attitudes that transform your life. It's the ability to believe in yourself, to pursue your dreams, to constantly learn, and to never give up, no matter the obstacles. Successful people know that the path to wealth begins with building a strong and determined mindset. Each of us has the potential to adopt these signs and start applying these ideas in our daily lives. The millionaire mindset isn't something reserved for others, it can be yours, you just have to start thinking differently and acting with focus and purpose. Remember that success doesn't happen overnight, but is built gradually, with patience, perseverance, and constant learning. If you truly want to change your life and achieve great things, start with the right mindset. Believe in your worth, develop the discipline and desire to learn, and be ready to seize the opportunities that arise. The path to success is within your reach, and all you have to do is take the first step. So what are you waiting for? Start cultivating that millionaire mindset today and transform your life into something extraordinary.